So let's get to it. Let's go over here, right? Let's go. Let me turn the AC down a little because it's getting hot in here. My goodness. So much game. So much game. All right. So let's go over to here. All right. So we're looking at Autogen. Let me get the other website for Autogen. Swagger Autogenerate. All right. So let's go look at that. And we want to look at this one, I guess. Introduction. So pretty much what we're doing is, let's start the timer as well.
It's time to do.
So about maybe almost a month ago now, we had did Swagger documentation, but we did the manual documentation. And Heist King came into the chat and was like, what in the world are you doing? What? He was like, why are you doing this manually? What kind of fool would you be doing this stuff manually? You're supposed to be QA automation. Why are you manually doing Swagger documentation? I was like, what? And at the time, I was feeling like,
how dare you?
But I got out of my fifis, and I was like, so you're saying I can just write some code and it's going to generate the whole thing for me? And he was like, hell yeah. I was like, well, don't threaten me with a good time. See, you guys like to threaten me with good times, right? So I was like, all right, fine, let's do this. So I looked it up, Swagger Auto Generation, and I found out how to do it. And we started it last week. A week ago, we started it, right? And I'll show you what we came up with. And now we have to keep going with it because we're not done yet. We're not done. You feel me? All right. So let's see. So this is where's my mouse? All right, there it goes. All right, so let's see what we got. So the overview we'll just do a quick recap. Overview. This module performs automatic construction of Swagger documentation. It can identify the endpoints and automatically capture methods such as get, post, put, and so on. It also identifies routes, middlewares, response status codes, parameters in the path, header, query, and body. It is possible to add information such as endpoint description, parameter description, schemas, security, amongst other, using comments and code. At the end, it generates the .json file containing the Swagger format specification. So one thing we were looking into last week was how do we get it to generate as a web page like the regular Swagger documentation does? I didn't have time to look into that this week, but we'll continue setting up the actual documentation, and then if we have time, we'll see if we can get the actual documentation up. Right. So with that being said, let me see. Anything else we need on this? No, I think that's it, right? I think that's it. So let's go to the other screen. So here we have WebStorm. I am a JetBrains fanboy. Yes, I like JetBrains, I like JetBrains software. So much better than VS Code, if you ask me. But don't tell anybody I said that. All right. All right. So that's my secret between you and I. All right. So I see that comment. I told you to walk it. All right. So let's go to get branch. I need to get the branch I was working on last time. So the branch that we created last week was based on your car's comment. No one generates Swagger documentation like us. So let's go ahead and let's switch to the branch. So I always tell you that like learning Git branching or Git in general is so important to your development, right? Very, very important. See, your car's about to go in again. Your car is about to go in on Florida again. Yes, we call the police on our own crime so it can be legal. Yes, we throw alligators through Wendy's drive-through windows. Yes, we have alligators the size of Texas walking through golf courses. Yes, we have all of that. See, I just 8-miled myself, so your car can't do it to me. I'm ready for you, car. I'm ready for you. All right, so let's do git checkout. And then we're going to check out this branch. Very important to learn how to do checkout, how to do pull requests, and learning GitHub. In the Patreon, I have my latest video was about some core technical things that you need to learn so that you are not far behind. They don't teach you this stuff in college. They don't teach you this stuff in boot camps, all that. So you really want to take these courses. There's like 4 courses that I recommended. And I also have a non-technical video as well Very important as well that you take because if you want to start working, you need to have these skills down packed because the job does not require us to teach it to you. All right. So let's go over to here. So now we have our branch checked out. So last week I created this folder for auto docs, and in here we have our Swagger. We have our Swagger code that we wrote, right? Got all this here, local development, the production site, the authentication, and then this is the output that it created, right? Which is good, but it's not like it's like I don't know how they did this, right? But it's a JSON file that is I don't know, it just opens, right? And then you can interact with it and stuff like that, try it out, all that good stuff. But it doesn't. It's not a web page, and I want it to also be a web page because the other one is a web page. If we go to docs, or maybe not, where did it do it? I think it was documentation folder. Can I find it? Where is it? Maybe it's not even a part of this repo. I thought it was. Oh yeah. I don't know. I don't know. There's a folder called documentation somewhere. Anyways, I digress. So we have this Swagger file where it has this defined, and then I think we started going into where did we go into for that? So if we go into source quotes, Robert C. Martin told me that from the project you should easily be able to identify what it's about. So instead of saying like a folder for controllers and a folder for models and a folder for routes, I said, no, we're going to have a folder for quotes. So you go, okay, this is about for the quotes. We're going to have a folder for users, have a folder for the home, stuff like that. So that's why the structure does not look traditional, but it is, it's a different style, right? Different style. Try, clean architecture, trying to see if this is going to work better for me, right? So we go into routes. And let's see, what do we got going on here? So let me see. Let's go up over here. So there goes the Swagger documentation here, where we said on the regular / endpoint that we have basic authentication, and there is no basic authentication on the random path. But we were adding the description of it, the summary. So if we go and we look over here and we go to the, let's see where random is. So there goes random. So we need to move the tag for quotes up top. All right, so let's start cleaning this up, right? Because we don't want to just belabor the whole point, all right? So let's go over to, I'm also monitoring the activity monitor as well to see how eCam is doing. Make sure it doesn't go crazy on me. But all right, let's go to. Interesting. Okay, so let's go to. I'm gonna copy this right here, right? And keeping in line with the way that I like to develop, right? We're going to run this. We're going to run the code a little bit more often. So let's just go. Let me see if I can minimize these requests, right? So maybe not the best way to do it. Actually, no, minimize the router. So router here. I don't know why that's outside the router. Oh, I see why. Okay, cool. So let's just go right. So there goes the get for the random. Actually, I want this to be up here instead, just to be more organized. And I mean, if you're thinking about test-driven development, right? Right now I'm refactoring. So I got it to work, and now I'm making it better. I mean, there's not the get it to fail part because this isn't we're not writing the code here. But let's go to over here, and we're gonna say. So I'm just going to add this block right here to each of the to each of the different endpoints. And let's see any more. So we got this one. And after we do that, we're going to run the code so we can see the differences inside of the documentation. All right. So let's see anything else. All right. So that's it. Right. So let's take a quick look at how it currently looks, the documentation. So right now we have quotes down here with the random endpoint and everything else is outside of it, right? Living in its own little island. So now I think we have, let me see, how do we have our, let's see, we have our, where's that package.json? So package.json, it is node, autodoc, swagger, and that's going to actually start up the, app, right? If I remember correctly. So if we go over here, let's clear this out and we do, no, or let's do npm start. And all right, so what aren't you? Oh my God, it's always happening. So let's do npm install, and it's gonna be dash dash. I wonder why I always have to do this. Save dev swagger. That can never get saved. Autogen. All right, there we go. So right now we're actually adding the Autogen package, and it says npm something is deprecated, no longer supported. Okay, cool. All right, so now let's go ahead and do npm start. And it says that it was successful, connected to the database. Cool. So now if we go into Swagger output, we actually close it and open it back. Let me close it, open it back. And we have quotes at the top of the building. Okay. So now we have retrieve all quotes. That's under the quotes tag. So the tag is serves more as a category, right? So quotes, retrieve all quotes, with the endpoint for let's see. I wonder why this is okay, because this one doesn't have any description yet. All right, so we'll go through and add the description. Has the random one over here. It has, so let me see. Retrieve all quotes. So I probably need to. So this is probably shouldn't be here. This probably should be here. But that's how we figure it out, right? So we're just looking through our documentation, see how that is. So far so good. So far so good. Not the best yet, but it is what we're looking for, right? So let's see if random works at least, right? Let's see. We go to random and let's see. .502 bad gateway. Probably just need to do some more investigation on this, because for like with the others, with the manual Swagger documentation, all this stuff was able to work, right? Okay, maybe because it's trying to access local. Maybe it's trying to access localhost this port right here. Let me see what we have in here. It should have. It has the right. It has the right localhost. I don't know. That's weird. That would be trying to get it on this port right here. Either way, we are still good to go. Let me see. All right. Anyways, so there we go. Let's continue writing our Swagger documentation. So, all right, let's start off with this one. Description: retrieve all quotes from database. Let's see. And that one was retrieve all quotes from database. And we say here, summary. This endpoint returns a list of quotes that are stored in the database. All right. Okay. And we have our security on that endpoint. No, that's not the right one. I don't even know what this one is. This isn't for retrieve all quotes. Is it? Let me see. Oh yeah, it is. It is. It is. Never mind. All right, cool. So, so the summary I see is being listed above the description. So the summary is okay. The summary is short. All right, cool. So let's do this. Let's in that case, if that's the case, let's swap these around. So I'm going to put this here, and then I'm going to put this here. That makes more sense. The description is the longer one. The summary is the shorter one. All right. So now if we go down to random, this should be the summary. And the description should be that one. All right. So I'm going to run it again just to make sure that we are on the same page. NPM start. And if we go back over, let me close this just to be safe. We go back over here. And now we have quotes, retrieve all quotes from the database. And then it says this endpoint returns a list of quotes that are stored in the database. And then if we go down to random, so now get a random quote from the database, yes. And then we have the longer description here. So shout out, there we go. There we go. All right, let's see. Let's see what else we got. All right, so now let's continue. We have our description. We don't have authentication on this endpoint. Let's go to, so this one is for post. All right, so this one we're gonna say swagger.summary. And you see, like, and this is the thing I always tell you guys, right? As you start to get, as you start writing the code out, right? You get more familiar with it. Then you just like start remembering, right? Because now I know, okay, swagger.summary, swagger.description. We're gonna look for the one for authentication, and then we're gonna use that, and then we're gonna remember it. And now, so it's like, it's not like you memorize code. You start understanding the syntax and the context the more you do it. I really just want to read a book and stuff like that. I remember like a job that I had like 10 years ago. People would be like studying so hard to get Java certified and stuff like that. And I was just like, and they still wouldn't be good at it. They still wouldn't be good at it. So with that being said, let's continue. So Swagger summary. So the summary for this one is going to be, let's do, add a new quote to the database, and the swagger dot description would be post request to add new quote to the database. Oops. And I would say the required keys are quote and author. All right. And let's see. Let's see here. Get request. All right. So we're going to, oh, there it goes. All right. So get request. This one is going to be called swagger dot summary. And that's going to be return a quote from the database using its ID. Using the quote ID. And then swagger.description is going to be get request to retrieve a quote from the database using the parameter. Or not. It's not even a parameter. It's a It's not even a parameter. Yeah, using the quote ID. I guess it's considered like a what do they call that thing? A URL parameter or something like that because it changes, but whatever. So yeah, it's a request parameter ID using the fine. The request parameter. So
Lunch
using
break.
the
Lunch break.
request parameter quote ID. All right. So yeah, I think we're good here. Let's go and generate it one more time. Oh, maybe actually I did Control C. Let's see. Hopefully that messed things up. All right, cool. So let's look at it one more time, and we go to let me close that out. Then we go to break, right? We'll go to break right after that. So let's open this up, and we have our summary, and does it allow you to let's say try it out? Oh, cool. It does that for you already? Where? I don't see where it allows you to put it. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. Let's go to break. Let's go to break. All right. So that was our first segment on working on the Swagger doc, right? Continue. Well, I guess it's actually the fourth segment because we started last week, but it is what it is, right? So let's see. What do we do first? Let me do this. Let's do my first tip, right? So what I'm going to be talking about today during our breaks is more about QA related, right? It's going to be my 3 tips, right? Pretty much what I do on a daily basis to add more value as a QA engineer, all right? So let's get that up on
If you enjoyed the fascinating information shared in this video and you want more, be sure to hit the subscribe button to Tech Coach Ralph to be notified for new videos.